Am I live? I'm not supposed to be live. I'm just supposed to be recording. All right. So, all right, let's turn this up. Hopefully, you can hear me. Hopefully, you can hear me. But today, I'm just wanting to let you know a little something about the Leviathan and how to do it. I don't know. I'm just going to read off my notes and just speak about it this week. Um, so let's start off with hello. Let me introduce myself. I'm Shantae, but for family, you can call me Sean. I am Lieutenant General, Soldiers of Arms, God's right arm, that is. Reporting for duty, sir. Yes, sir. All right. It's been a real busy week this week. There's been a lot of things uh, happening this week. I won't get off into it because there are many people who are watching, and uh, they're by me just saying particular things, they'll invite themselves into the words that I'm saying, and they know me. Okay, so I really want to push this out. I want to say it, and I don't want to invite something into my space unaware. Okay, by verbally saying it the way that I'm not supposed to say it. So I wanted to say that in Job chapter 41 is what we'll be going over this week. Um, I got to get used to doing this social media stuff. I'm not used to it. The father got me doing this stuff, so I'm not used to doing it. Yeah, I see a lot of people do it every day, often throughout the day. Lord, but hey, I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm trying to get in the rhythm of this social media aspect of life. Because this year, the God, I mean, God got us as His children really pushing this stuff this year. So God want us to push this stuff, truly push this stuff out here, and the conversations and stuff about it. God want us to push it out how He told you to push it out for you. Okay, that's how He want us to push it out. He want us to push it out how He told you to push it out for you. Okay, hopefully you understand what I'm saying. So first of all, I wanna say this, that we spoke about how in Job 1, we spoke about that in Job 1, how can you draw Leviathan with a hook and or his tongue with a cord which you let down, right? And I got a video on that. I posted it on TikTok and they blanked it out and you can't see my face, but you can hear what I'm saying about it. I don't know why they did that, but yeah, they did that. So hope you still listen to that. It's on TikTok and also the full video is on YouTube, here on YouTube. But you can also my main thing is YouTube, okay? But I venture off in other platforms like TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, okay? And but mainly I'm here on YouTube. And I'm trying to get used to doing this social media stuff because I'm not used to that. But and especially doing the stuff on camera. I'm not used to that either. Um um So again, back to the subject, Leviathan, can you conquer it? It's gonna be all this week, and I don't know how long God want me to talk about it. And also, He's giving me more and more things to say on it as I'm speaking about it. Um, and also looking it up into in the Bible as well, because it's in Job 41, Job 41, and we on verse 1 right now. But we're gonna go from verse to verse, and I'm gonna tell you how to intertwine verses like that. Which, just look at what I'm doing. That's all I can say, is just look at how I'm doing it. That's how you intertwine verses. And then once you get something from the Lord, then you'll already have it. And then when you read the next verse, you'll be like, oh my goodness, that mixed with that verse. You know what I'm saying? That's normally how God does it. And he'll do it like that, and you'll be amazed. It He already gave you the word before you read the word. You'll be amazed at that. But um, so let's get off into it. There were some more things I gotta say. I need to write it down so I can memorize it and tell it to you, because I'm supposed to have been said it, but I let it slip my mind because when I get on this thing, I just forget. But anyway, um, so first and foremost, we spoke about how the number one is, as in how, like, number one was speaking about how uh can we draw this thing out of us, like, right? Can we draw it out of us? Can we can we can we what is it? Can we, let's say, his tongue with a cord? Can we even hook his tongue with a cord, or wrap a cord around his tongue, you know, and just basically, you know, I guess I could say mutilize. That's the word I'm getting. Mutilize this creature. Can we do it the way that we supposed to do it, or is it done in a physical? Like we would be battling with that in our mind on how we can pull this image of this demon, this demonic spirit that is called Leviathan. How can we lay it down to where it doesn't discourage us and causes us to do things against our neighbor, which is against ourselves, our outer selves, because we are spirit. So first of all, we are spirit. We are not flesh. We are spirit. So my thing is, like, how will we push this thing out based on based on uh towards the flesh, from the spirit to the flesh, so we can have room in the spirit, walking right here on flesh, and not having things to appear as though it's real, and it's not even real. It's coming from the spirit. It's coming from the flesh deep, should I say. And I shouldn't say spirit because we are spirit, but I'm saying it's spiritual because it's coming from the flesh deep. And then mainly I could say from the darkness, because darkness is deep. Okay. And it's other spirits that gather itself against you when you go out and do things in the flesh that you're not supposed to do. So you bring back with soul goes out, right? Soul goes out, and then soul brings back these certain spirits that it's not supposed to have with it, the seven more spirits that it's not supposed to have. So that means you, when you go out and you do something else, you bring back seven more, and then you go back out and you do something else. And it's mainly you doing it against the commandments, because now our new thing that a lot of people don't know about, that the commandments, according to the Bible, the commandment is now with Jesus, him and his image, okay, his name, the fire that's used among him, okay, the fire, his name, his image, and the blood, his blood, all within that. Since he died and rose, he became the new covenant and the new commandment and the one new man, okay. That's no secret. A lot of people try to make it seem like that's such a secret so you can keep on relying on what they're talking about. And it's not about that. No, the one new man is Jesus. He is the one new man because, number one, he's in us, he's with us, he's walking with us. And so, therefore, He's the one new man that needs to seeks deep into the flesh. So we have to become one, which is we have to become perfect in spirit so that he can walk perfectly on the flesh for us. Which is why I say, when you say I am, don't say you're not perfect, because you are. And now God, Jesus, God's son Jesus can walk perfectly in the depths of your body, guiding it, because that's the only way he can do it. Only way he can guide it is he get deep in there. So guiding it and leading it in the way that it's supposed to go. Okay, that's the only way that that can get done. All right. So I don't care how I'm looking on here right now. I don't care how I'm looking on none of this. I'm getting this out. Okay. I don't care if I wear the same thing over and over again. What this is about Jesus. This ain't about me. Okay. It's not about me. Okay. And for some people who are about voices and how loud you get and how timid you sound or how low you sound. I mean, my regular voice is very low, but when I start talking, the Father told me to speak up, and so I've learned how to speak up within the relationship that I had before, because I didn't used to speak up at all. But then I learned how to speak up with Him, um, and now it just comes as it comes in that way, and God utilized that voice for Him. Okay, because you can't utilize that voice for anger, can't utilize that voice for nothing else, only for what God have you to utilize, that army base that you have, that soldier base that you have, going off into being an ambassador for Christ, because now it's going to be no longer you, it's going to be Christ walking with you. Okay, and it's going to be him leading the way in which you should go. My nose. But overall, what I'm saying is, and hopefully you understand what I'm saying, is that we don't know, well, some of us don't know how to draw this thing out. And to draw this Leviathan spirit out, you do have to draw it out. Okay. It's a such thing as drawing it out. Drawing, like, think of a piece of paper and you put a drawing on it. You have to, like they used to teach you in kindergarten, they used to teach you to fold the papers in four. They teach you to fold the papers in four. And then once you fold the papers in four, you open the paper up and then you draw a oval face, right? You draw an oval face on those drawing, or you take it and you just draw on each side an oval line, and you will get the face. But you want to draw the face as big as the lines that you made when you folded the paper. So that's an image. Okay, that's an outline of an image. Now you got to figure out how you're going to specify the parts to this face, this image of this face that you're about to make. Okay, you got to figure out what's on the face, which is what's on the face is the nose, the eye, the eyebrows, the eyelashes, the eyelids, the all the kind of everything that's on the face. Like if you got moles, you want to put, if you want to put moles in there, you want to put freckles on there, you want to put fine lines on there, you want to put little wrinkles on there. I mean, you gotta know the image. Can you ID this image of this Leviathan? Meaning, can you draw it out? You know what I'm saying? And it is one way that you can actually draw it out by saying particular words that is saying to do in this verse. It says draw it out. Specifically says draw it out. Once you can define it, draw it out. So if God give you a dream or something like that, you can't understand it, but you know that you saw something like that and you couldn't explain what it was, draw it out. When you wake up from that dream and you can't even explain what that dream was about, and you've seen an image, or it was an image over you or image somewhere, draw it out, because that image is coming from you deep, or it could be coming from someone who was just in your house or someone who's living in your house. Understand? So you have to draw it out instantly at that moment. Okay. So can you draw it out? Can you bake this edition is about, can you conquer Leviathan? Okay. So can you conquer him? Can you materialize this thing and draw it on out? Can you carve this thing? Can you carve it out? Can you carve it out? Right? Or should I say, can you curve it out? Can you curve it out? All right. Or can you bend it at an angle for for catching hold of it? Can you bend it at an angle where you can catch a hold of this thing and you can gravitate to it and say, this is this. Do you know how that look? Like, if you was angry, what would you think that would be coming from? Will you be blaming the other person, which we go physically about it, and we blame the other person to say, no, I'm angry because of them and what they did to me? And that's not even it. Can you define what's going on with you, and can you reel it back in and not put that energy out there to that other person, to your neighbor, without uh putting a smack to the commandments? You know what I'm saying? That's mainly what we are doing. Like, we can't go against the commandments that's written on our hearts. Like, it's with us now. Since Jesus died on the cross, rose again, came back in the flesh, one new man. That's what he became. He became one new man. And he is in every one of us new. Brand spanking new. Understand? And so are we. Because we have to be perfect in order for the Spirit of God to operate in us. You can't say you're not perfect, because you have to be perfect in order to be holy. Perfect means holy. Okay? Let's get that straight. Perfect doesn't mean what the world figures perfect to be. And I'm not here to please the world by saying I'm not perfect. Perfect means to be holy. That's it. That's it. Holy, complete, full. You got it. Your source is complete. You're good. Now, any mistakes you make, that's because you gonna do that. Okay? Flesh, it just got all kind of infirmities in it that need to be smacked every now and then, which means that needs to be chastised. That's why you got chastised. That's why you got God. You're gonna need him, and he wants you to need him. Understand? So it's gonna need to get smacked, meaning chastised by God every now and then. All right. So it's gonna make mistakes because it's in a sinful nature, outside its actual nature. You outside your natural nature. And Leviathan does not want to let you go from the cord of your mother's womb. Going back there, sending you back there. You never being able to leave and cleave your mother and your father, right? I spoke about that in my video. How you're never able to leave and cleave your mother and father because you still stuck to this cord. Understand? Which is why I'm saying that tongue, can we get this tongue out the way with a cord, you know, that you let down. That you let down because you still suckered back into it. And that's why certain relationships don't work. That's why certain finances happen. That's why when you go into church, You taking her because now it's in the image of a her because you have wedded this thing. You have taken it in as your maiden, meaning your wife. Okay, because you let her in. So now it's in the image of a her. So and you will be letting it in, and that's in another verse. We're gonna get into that in a minute, okay? In a minute. So I know about these subjects because when I was a little kid, God told me to remember them. So that's how I remember all this stuff. Because as a kid, I went through it, okay, and I seen it. Um, speaking of Leviathan, as a child, there was a lot of books that I've read, and there was a lot of things that came to fruition in my life as I read those books because I've been seeing into the spirit, but at first I thought that that was crazy because a lot of people said I was crazy, and but the Lord told me to stop speaking because it wasn't no use to speaking to these people because they were not listening. Now, as I got older, he did allow me to speak to different people and go to them and let them know certain things, but it doesn't mean that they were listening to me. So I had to move on, and then I lost a lot of them because they wasn't listening. Okay. Um, or they chose someone else in the world over being around me, right? So, and then someone wanted to be around me just so they can cover me, and I won't be with Christ, won't be in God, loving God at that time, you know. So it was mostly most people were on a mission, all right. But I remember having a dream when I was a little kid of consistently trying. Once I learned about letting go of the Leviathan spirit because I was doing perverted things when I was younger, and while I was doing those perverted things when I was young, once I learned, I was trying to cousin, let them know what I learned, and was trying to get them to get away from it. And I always did. Yes, I did. Now the way I did it was I would beat them up. I would beat on my cousins, which was not right at the time. And the reason why I did it was because I didn't want them to be like fast tail girls. You know, that's what we used to call them, fast tail girls. And fast tail girls. And then it was other and the dudes, you know, I didn't want them to be doing stuff that they seen their daddies do. Like, I don't want you to do what your daddy doing. I don't want you to do what your mama do. I want you to know you responsible for you. So get it right. So I would just I would beat up the boys, I would beat up the girls, and I would do all kind of crazy stuff in my life when I was younger. You know, when I found out about perversion and how this ain't right. We as kids can't do whatever we want to do because we're gonna be grown up doing the same stuff. It's some people still attached to their mother's womb. You know, not their mother. They been left their mom. Why you think they treating you a certain way? That's the key thing too. Men and women don't treat other men and women the way they treat them because of what their mama did. They treat them like that because they still attached to their mother's womb. They that caused them when they left their mama's womb to do what they did to their mama. And then their mama couldn't probably take it or couldn't deal with it or was like, whoa, it's too much. And then the father, who didn't know what he was doing, he probably supported the child against the mom, or because he didn't know what he was doing. So you cannot say the blame is on the parents and so such and such. They just did what they did with the evil of which came out of the womb. So some people are still attached to the mother's womb in a daddy's, the father's image. Okay, the earthly father's image. Okay, and it has nothing to do with them. It's just what is been passed on from generation to generation, and now that combines them people, which is why you can, even if you don't never know who your mother and father is, you that's why you still will be acting just like them unaware, because they come make visit. Their images in which their father's images, which their grandmother's images, which their grandfather's images, on down the line, it's gonna seep through into your dream, and it's gonna put you at who's current, and that's your mama and your father. And they're gonna mix in little stuff inside your spirit. So when you grow up, you're gonna think of things angrily against everybody. Anybody that you have, though, you're gonna have those dreams against. You're gonna think something. That's why the father was telling me that children only remember what they want to remember, because the enemy gonna put in stuff plus of what you already are going through, and that is not knowing the truth and seeing images for what you think they are. And I heard one man on here say that you can't adjust your reality. Yes, you can. Reality is not just the things that you do. That's not reality only. Reality is the things that you say. Reality is the things that you look on at. Reality is the things that you consume, that you feed off of. Reality is a numerous of a lot of things. So you can switch up your reality. You can take control of your reality, because you don't have to get angry if you feel angry. So I heard somebody say that, but on a little on a YouTube, as they were talking about how to make money, okay? And it was like, can't nobody have control of their reality. You ain't reading the Bible right. You need to go back and read that passage again, because you ain't right. That's not what they're saying, and they don't say that. You have the control of your reality, which means that I'm placing responsibility with you, and you dictate what you say to your neighbor, your friends, your family, and so on and so forth. You have control of your reality. I think that person need to go back and rethink about what he said, because it's a he who said this. And that's why sometimes you can't listen to everybody. You only can take a little bit from human, but the rest, all of it, is majorly done from God. Okay? With the same thing with what I'm saying. You can only take a little bit from what I'm saying. But the main thing, you got to take this to God. He's the God of hosts. Okay? All right. So yeah, you do have control over your reality, because you got to get a grip. Mainly, you got to get a grip of who you really are when you are confronted with different variety of people. Your reality is on you. Don't listen to nobody else about that. Your reality is on you. All right? You're responsible for you. You can control your stank attitude. You can control how you manipulate people. You can control how you're cursing people out. You can control your reality. And even further, to do with reality. Don't get it twisted. You can. You can walk into there with self-confidence into a room. That's your reality. Because God wants you to have reality, to have self-confidence. So you can walk in the room and have self-confidence. Don't play with it. You are in control of your reality. Nobody else is. Can't nobody dictate your reality. And that alone, can't nobody else dictate your reality. And then for somebody to come in and say that you don't got control of your reality means that you want to put that control into somebody else's lap. Sometimes we say things and we don't think how far the saying can go in other people's mind when we say that. So sometimes we do that. Okay. All right. So again, back to 41:1. So again, picture yourself as you are drawing out this thing, and you trying to grab his tongue with a cord, like, right? Picture yourself back at your mama's womb as a baby in the cord, and you attached to your mother, and how you had to get that cord cut. You had to cut it out, right? You had to cut it off. You had to cut it off. You had to cut it off. You had so cutting it off, meaning drawing it out, not still having the energy that's connected to you and your parents still draw you back into it. And it ain't them, it's just the stuff that's coming from them deep in the flesh, that's called the Leviathan, that's pulling you back in to doing things that you're not supposed to do, even though you could be over it. All right. So it's just like that, cutting the cord in order for you to be separated from that person's blood and that bloodline. Okay. And even breastfeeding, right? Breastfeeding had to be broken away from. After a while, you couldn't keep eating from your mother's breast. Okay. You couldn't keep doing it. You had to mature after you had that the feeding of your mother's breast, okay, which is the natural source because it's coming from your mom, right? But at some point you had to break off, you had to break free from that, okay? And then you were off on your own. And it's a lot of men and a lot of women that don't like to be off on their own. They want to be they act like they got to be still stuck to whatever it is that's knee deep into their mother's womb, not their mother and father. They are seduced from what has been feeding a mother and father in that womb. And them spirits will come as old people who are dead now. They will come to you as people who are dead to try to sucker you back in to responding in a certain way. And that's mainly to keep you sad, to keep you anxious mainly, and through an anxious feeling, which is why God said do not be anxious for nothing, because in anxious being anxious, you get sad, you get frustrated, you get angry, very angry, and you build anxiety, depression, uh uh you have those symptoms of different sicknesses in your mind, and also that stuff will bring on sicknesses in your body. And then when it's disease in your body, and then after it brings on the disease in your body, it brings on death. And guess what? That's when you have to pray for sickness, death, and disease to be lifted up off of your body, to be removed now in Jesus' name. That's why you pray these prayers, because it's a sickness in your mind, then it comes as a disease in your body. Once it takes over your body, then it comes as a death to you in whole flesh, death, early death. And that's not when you were supposed to be dead. Okay? All right. So you want to say sickness, death, and disease. I draw out any sickness, any death, any disease that could be on me and my mother and my father's bloodline. You understand? Draw it out. I cut the cords of it. That's a good prayer. Them prayer points. I cut the cord from it. I remove it from out my mother's womb. So when another baby is born, that baby can be birthed and blessed. And my mother and my father can do this in wedding, in the light, in the Lord, and do it the Lord's way. And the Lord can conquer them, and the devil cannot get in between this is the prayer. The devil cannot get in between their lifestyle, because now their lives belongs to Christ Jesus, and Christ Jesus in them. No more boyfriend, girlfriend, but marriage. And it's still some people who sit there and say, I don't want to be married. Well, guess what? You're going to keep dealing with the sickness that you got, the disease that you got, and also death is going to happen after that because you don't want to get married. That's on you. That's your problems, your situations. And then if you're dealing with someone, you got to hurry up and cut them off. If you're still dealing with somebody who's still dealing with not letting go of you or nobody else because they just want to waste your time. You want to let a person like that go that just want to waste your time? You don't got time for a person wasting your time. Do you got time for that? No, you do not. So this Leviathan, you are on your own now. Okay? Stop getting reacquainted with your mom and dad's stuff. That bloodline is thick. It's generational thick. Understand? Long before you don't even know what was going on back then with them people. So that stuff could be hindering you and taking over you. And you don't even know why. Okay? So that Leviathan spirit with all of them different things entering in to your life through this Leviathan spirit, you don't want that. You don't want that because they gonna make friends with you. They gonna make you feel good, and they gonna have things because of how pleasant you are with them. You friended them, and now they still gonna be there until they are willing you back in to death. You understand? And then you'll be like, oh, you'll believe that, oh, it's time for me to go, and it ain't time for you to go yet at all. You just made a mistake. You believed for something that you thought was real, but it wasn't. Okay. So this Leviathan characteristics is the same, and what it will take to draw it out from you is a new bloodline, a new covenant, understanding the commandments that's wrote on your heart. If you doing anything outside or opposite of those commandments that's with you already, you have chose that reality. Nobody else has. Because people can do all they want to do around you, which I know the enemy gonna come for that word that I just said just now. That's there. The enemy can do whatever they want to do around you, but that does not mean that you have no what's the word people always say, that you don't have no control over nothing. That don't mean that you don't have control over nothing. That means that you just don't want to be alone. And the only people you can rely on is the ones that's acting a fool right now. And that's not true. You can say something against something, which is you standing up. If you got a wife and you a husband, or you got a husband and you a wife, and your family is doing something against your husband or your wife, you can then inadvertently say to those people, no, not today. You understand? You don't got to get smart. You can just say, no, not today. Not today. No. You can cut the cord. Okay, there are words that you can say to cut the cord. Okay, there are words you can say to cut the cord, to cut the tongue with the cord. There are words, there are things you can do to draw that image, to cut that image from trying to uh take over you, possess you. Or should I say, um, what's the best word to say? Not possess you, but to put you in in a trance, okay? In a trance, like, or can I say trance? The God put you in a trance, but the devil normally puts you in a demonic wham of being, you know, like he draws you into this demonic way of being. And so, they call them demons, or you a bad kid, or stuff like that. They call those, they put them into a specific uh word. And so now those kids are going to play that role, because that's them paying attention to that spirit plus the people out there. So they feeding that demon. And then not the person demon, but the demon that's filled inside the flesh, that's making that flesh move. All right. So everybody adhere to a spirit, all, including people from the hood. Everybody adhere to a spirit. Everybody does. You can't say they don't. Okay. So that's all I have to say about that for today. And I'll be back on here another day for 41 41 2. I don't know where that's at. Okay. So I'll be back on here for 41 verse 2. Another day. I think I did 41 2. I don't know, but we shall see. So bye for now.